Hello and welcome to Basic Spanish for OT, PT, and SLP clinicians. My name is Juanita and I will be your host. I am an occupational therapy assistant as well as the author of this book, Basic Spanish for OT, PT, and SLP clinicians in the acute hospital setting. This book, as well as the ebook, can be purchased on Amazon.com. On today's video, we actually will take a step away from the book, and we will continue with the rules of language, conjugating necesitar. If you have been following along, there are other videos on the channel on the rules of language, conjugating hablar and conjugating tener. On this video, we will be using conjugating necesitar, and that is to say to need. If you need something. So let's just talk. In the previous videos, I've always said that there are some things that we have to really understand as adult learners. And one of those things is that the rules of language in your primary language, let's say it's English, are not the same rules of language in your target language, which is Spanish. So we have to be very careful that we don't try to pull the rules from English over into Spanish. So 3 rules that we spoke about that there is in Spanish that we generally don't have in English. Gender. In Spanish, there's a heavy use of genders. So every noun has a gender attached to it. It's not attached to anything that men or women would do. It's just, that's just the way it is. So an example is casa, la casa. La casa is considered a feminine noun. Not for any particular reason, that's just the way it is. So as I've said previously, it's always good to learn your phonetic sounds first, learn the names of things second. Then thirdly, you need to understand what the gender of your noun is, because that will help you with your adjectives when you're trying to describe the noun, as well as with your definite or indefinite article. The second thing, conjugation of verbs. In English, there is no conjugation of verbs for the most part. We don't say a different word when we're talking about he versus she versus we versus you versus I. So it's I need, you need, he needs, she needs, they need, we need. Same word, need. Maybe S if you're saying he or she needs. In Spanish, there is a heavy conjugation. All verbs are conjugated. So you have to be able to know what your conjugations are. And there's a conjugation when you're talking in present tense, past tense, as well as future tense. And the next one is the informality or formality of speech. So in English, regardless of who you're speaking to, you want to say to them, "How are you today?" It would just be, "How are you today?" In Spanish, if you're being formal, it would be, "¿Cómo está hoy?" But if you're being informal, it would be, "¿Cómo estás hoy?" So there's a difference. And sometimes as adult learners to the Spanish language, that can become a little confusing because we have to think in our new language, not in the old language. So with that being said, let's get started. Vamos a empezar. To conjugate I need or necesitar, I need would be yo necesito. Yo necesito. Yo necesito. If I wanted to say in an informal way, you need, it would be tú necesitas. Tú necesitas. tú necesitas. If I wanted to say he, she, or you in a formal way, it would be él necesita, ella necesita, or usted necesita. If I wanted to say we need, it would be nosotros necesitamos. Nosotros necesitamos. And if I was speaking in the plural and I was talking to a group, a feminine group, then I would say ellas necesitan. If I was talking to a masculine group or a mixed group, it would be ellos necesitan. Or if I was just saying you in plural, meaning more than one person, I could say ustedes necesitan. So let's do that again. Yo necesito, tú necesitas, él, ella, usted necesita, nosotros necesitamos, ella, ellos, ustedes necesitan. So, take a minute, breathe. We got that in there. So what I wanted to do today is also give you a few things that we tend to ask. If you wanted to ask somebody, do you want something to eat? Or do you need something to eat? So you can say, in a very informal way, ¿necesitas algo de comer? ¿Necesitas algo de comer? If I wanted to ask in an informal way, do you want something to drink? Do you need something to drink? I keep switching it off, but I mean to say, do you need? ¿Necesitas algo de beber? ¿Necesitas algo de beber? ¿Necesitas algo de beber? That is, do you need something to drink? Another one which we ask a lot of times before a session or maybe even after a session, do you need medicine? ¿Necesitas medicamentos? ¿Necesitas medicamentos? ¿Necesitas medicamentos? Do you need the nurse? And then again, this is where the gender comes in. So, ¿necesitas a la enfermera? ¿Necesitas a la enfermera? ¿Necesitas a la enfermera? And if you're looking for the masculine version of nurse, ¿necesita al enfermero? ¿Necesitas al enfermero? ¿Necesitas al enfermero? Do you need to go to the bathroom? ¿Necesitas ir al baño? ¿Necesitas ir al baño? ¿Necesitas ir al baño? Do you need to wash your face? ¿Necesitas lavarte la cara? ¿Necesitas lavarte la cara? ¿Necesitas lavarte la cara? And the last one I'm going to leave here is, do you need to lay down? ¿Necesitas acostarte? ¿Necesitas acostarte? ¿Necesitas acostarte? So, that is the rules of language conjugating the verb necesitar. or to need. It is a lot. I just crossed the 10-minute mark, so I will end it here. As always, gracias por venir, and I'll see you on the next video. Adios.